Hey guys, how's it going? My name's The Breath and welcome back to Goaly-Poly. This is my series where I aim to take my real life favourite club, Wycombe Wanderers, on a bungling journey up the divisions of English football and ultimately to Champions League glory. So this one is going to be a long episode, longer than most, longer than probably all of the others, and there is a reason for that. I've got a couple of things that I need to tell you. The first of all is I'm really sorry that there wasn't an upload last week. I ended up having emergency surgery on my chest 2 weeks in a row. Yeah, I had the first surgery under a local anaesthetic. The anaesthetic didn't work. I felt the entire thing, and it turned out at the end of it that they hadn't even done the full job. So the very next week I was back in hospital, admitted for 3 days before having the rest of the surgery done under a general anaesthetic. And yeah, I had emergency surgery on my chest. Last week I was just too wiped out to be able to record this, so I do apologise for the week's delay, but here we are. On top of that, I should let you know this is the second time I've tried to record episode 7. You'll see from the calendar that we are in the start of February, because in fact what I thought I'd done was recorded the last session, did a big whole bit summary, fancy new way of showing off the match highlights, went through the January transfer window, which was full of twists and turns, and I thought made for a very good episode. Sort of played a couple of games out the other side and called it a day. But here we are in February, so clearly something went wrong. Well, I'd hit save on the game, went to turn off the recording and realised I'd never started it. Hashtag breaths a pleb. So yeah, that brings us to right now, where we are out the other side of the January transfer window, and I have to go and give you all the summary. So forgive me, it's going to be long. The first sort of half an hour of this video is all going to be a recap. The second lot, that's going to be the games that we play. So please accept my apologies as I hand you over now to, I guess we'll say, live breath, even though this was live breath recapping stuff that had happened in the past. So yeah, enjoy. We've had another transfer window that I have to take you through, and my word, was it a big one. But before we do that, we're going to start looking at the fixtures, because we've got a lot to take you up on. I believe it's up here that we ended off with a win at Shrewsbury Town, and as you can see, our winning run continued until Reading. So I'll take you through the fixtures. We'll have a look at all of the goals that scored. We can discuss the teams. We can talk about, exceptional results, especially on the away days, and we can look at where it maybe didn't quite go according to plan. So the first game was against Northampton Town, and you'll see that we followed on from Shrewsbury with a 4-1 away win, and the team looked entirely consistent. Everyone had a fantastic game. Richard Kone bagged himself a hat-trick, and as you'll see, all of them were headers. If I remember correctly, they were all headers. But we'll watch the goals and I'll take you through what occurred. Unfortunately, it takes a little bit of time to load. So you'll see here we struck first with Onyedinma running down the right hand side in the 66th minute with an excellent cross for Kone to power the header home without actually getting his feet off the ground. Then Tormy took it down the left hand side, ran to the touchline, and again Richard Kone absolutely loved that corner. His heading was supreme. Unfortunately, it wasn't to be a clean sheet. This ball over the top, Joe Lowe just got caught wrong-sided. He fell asleep. But it didn't matter, because he redeemed himself with a little header down to James Berry, who just side-footed it into the corner. And then it came back to Tormy, who did what he does best, whipped that cross in, and Kone off the post to complete his hat-trick of headers. And that was 4-1 on the road. A completely dominant performance. We had most of the ball, our passes were exceptional, 7 corners, a 1.69 XG, and we managed to get 8 shots on target. So do you know what? I was very happy with that. And we I felt like we were building on it when we then played against Northampton. Against Leyton Orient. But Orient is always a tough day. Onyedinma's injury was not a bad one. He had to come off, but he was only gone for 4 or 5 days, I think it was. I rested him in the. I know I rested him in the game after, but he was available for selection. I think I rested him. I have to remind myself now what's going on. But you can see from the scoreline there that we struck first. It was a Humphreys free kick to Finn back at the far post. It was a lovely worked bit of play. But it, again, wasn't to be a clean sheet. They very quickly equalised afterwards. And it was a bit easy. A little pass across the face of goal. From the corner there, it was Anders Hagelskjaer. And it wasn't to be a win. I thought he looked offside. The game disagreed. But all that matters is that it ended 2-2. And the boys didn't necessarily perform badly. It just wasn't quite the result that we were after. Next up was one of the fixtures I was scared of. It was Birmingham at home. They're a fantastic side. And you'll see £15 million man Jay Stansfield did get himself the result. Onyedinma nowhere in sight. I played this team purely because I did not expect to get a result out of this game. I wasn't looking for a result, mainly because I didn't think we would get one, and I felt in that situation probably best to just rest our key players. It didn't quite work out like that. In the 21st minute, James Berry, and you can see Shamal George got the assist with this absolute punt of a ball, split the back line, and James Berry leathered it home to the bottom corner. It was lovely to see. It wasn't to be a clean sheet again, and Lyndon Dykes just split our defence in half. Really, that was a magnificent goal. You couldn't do a pass that was more perfect. Unless you're Tormy here, on his right foot, his weaker right foot, just directing it into the path of James Berry to double his tally. And we claimed 3 points at Adams Park against Birmingham, which was a sensational result. This run of fixtures here, Orient, City, Lincoln, Reading and Posh. I know there are no easy games in League One, but my word, it was just... it was an awful time. Because I kind of had to play a strong side in all of them. Birmingham was the one that I was like, if I don't take points out of Birmingham, I don't take points out of Birmingham. No goals to show you in the game against Lincoln, but you can see here, it was relatively tight. Our passes completed, our fouls, our corners, our XG, they were very, very similar. 15 shots to 11, both had 5 on target, 4 to 5 corners, they committed more fouls, they received more yellow cards, but it was a pretty even game. And taking a point out of the then league leaders, I think they're still league leaders actually, but either way, taking a point out of league leaders, when can you ever be upset about that? I was looking to build on it, but we ended up doing the inverse traffic light here. And it was in the most heartbreaking fashion because we led the game. We were looking like we'd take a point. I'd have taken a point out of Reading. I played a strong side, but no one really turned up. You'll see here, it was the 74th minute, and the times on the left-hand side there don't do it justice. It was a clear penalty that they won. I'll just say that. We won't see it in the goals, but it was a clear penalty. It started with this little move. Kone out to Onyedinma, off the bar, and McCleary with the first time just directing it back into the net. It looked good until Lewis Wing, the former Wycombe man, struck that penalty, and he struck it well, didn't he? And then in the 93rd minute of 92 minutes added on, it said 90 plus 2, and then in the 93rd minute they scored that to win the game, and there was nothing we could do. We took the kick off and they blew the full-time whistle before we'd made another pass. Heartbreaking. But you can't win them all. So my job was to rally the boys, and 3 days later, we welcomed Posh to Adams Park, and my word did we bounce back from a poor result. Because 5 goals we put past them. Yes, they had an injury, and it looked like we were going to get a clean sheet for the vast majority of this game. We went ahead with 85 plus to go, and almost exactly 90 minutes later, we lost our clean sheet. Hagelsgaard had the throw, as you can see. It was a nice bit of play. Humphreys looked inside, threaded it down the middle, and it was cool from Alex Lowry just to punt it into the back of the net. Simmons found Lowry here, who did what he does best, plays that searching diagonal ball to Onyedinma, and it was cool, calm and collected. Cameron Humphreys with the corner. It was Hagelsgaard that got up, and let me tell you, at this point, both of them had wanted appear next to their name. Kone flicked the goal in to make it, I believe, 4, and then Lowry from the spot. Dubious penalty. I'll keep my mouth closed about that. I didn't think it was a penalty, but they awarded it, and I'm not going to complain. We did kind of switch off at the 94th minute here, and I don't care who you are. You do not stop those goals. That was a phenomenal strike from Knight, and he deserved it, to be honest. He had a good game. I thought he had a really good game against us. But at that point, I will say, Onyedinma and Hagelsgaard, 2 of our most valuable players, they started attracting interest. And as you can see, we were rapidly approaching January, so I increased their asking prices. I managed to get them to accept a slightly higher asking price. And as we went in to the January transfer window, I was hoping they would put a good performance in against Shrewsbury just to really justify it. But you can see here, it wasn't quite to be. Shrewsbury away was tough. We managed to score a goal through Richard Kone. I'll give you one guess how he scored it. But it wasn't to be. We were already 2-0 down, and they just outplayed us. That's kind of just a fact. We didn't turn up properly. This was too easy. Nurse had too much space. Finback dropped off. The ball went across. It went past both defenders, and KO'd, scored. They then doubled their lead as Feeney was just unmarked at the back post. It was brutal. However, look at this. Deflected. It was the jammiest goal you will ever see in your life. But it doesn't matter how they go in, it matters that they go in. And yes, our goal difference took a hit, but the boys do what they do best. We lose by 1 goal, it seems, and we bounce back to hit 5. That seems to be the thing. Simmons is still out with this injury. That was heartbreak. It really was heartbreak. But Richard Kone scored 4 goals. They were 4 headers. He was brutal in the air. Unplayable. It was a brilliant response from everyone in this team. And this is how it looked. We struck first as Reach found Humphreys with a deep searching cross and an easy header home for Richard Kone. From the throw in again, this time Maxwell puts the cross in, and again an easy flicking header into the back of the net. They then struck with this excellent bit of team play, a lovely drop of the shoulder, and stuck it in that bottom corner. A deserved goal. They deserved it. It was a great bit of play. It goes all the way across to McCleary, who knocks it to Lowry for a tap in. And then Watson strides forward, takes on the men, plays a deep cross. The keeper's in no man's land. He really should do better. But when Richard Kone is on form, you don't stop him. And this is exactly what I mean. McCleary with a left-footed cross. Kone gets up, looping header over the keeper into the far corner. And that was the game. Taking some really important points out of these fixtures. And then we just sort of went on an unbeaten run. Shrewsbury, I thought we should have won. But when you go ahead in the first minute, it's so easy to get complacent, and the game just dragged on and dragged on. And unfortunately, they just kept the ball better. They worked themselves a goal towards the death of the match. This is how we went ahead. 45 seconds on the clock, a searching ball to Rashawn Scott. Lowry taps it home with 53 seconds on the clock. It was a dream start. But my word, you do not. To win that free kick, they were just knocking the ball around left and right. It was magnificent team play from them. And you can't stop free kicks like that. But my word, they looked dangerous. They were going to get a goal one way or another. That was how I thought. We then kind of let our performances drop ever so slightly as we welcomed Blackpool. Now, we lost 3-0 to Blackpool, so turning this game around, taking 3 points out of 6 against Blackpool in the league, I'll take it. Both teams won their home fixtures, and this is how we did it. The throw-in to Caprani, it was back to Maxwell, searching cross, and Rashawn Scott on the wing was the one who headed home the only goal in that game. And then it was Charlton who ran away with the league earlier. And it was one of our new signings, who I'll take you through the signings later. But Zabelli had come in. He's come in from Brentford for a very reasonable fee. He's 6'3" at the back. And this is how you endear yourself to the fans. A flicked header into the bottom corner to keep not only a clean sheet for the central defender, but also to win us the game. We then had a very tough looking away day. We went to face Rotherham and we put 4 past them. It wasn't our best game. I will say this, it wasn't our best game. But when you put 4 goals past the team, it's very difficult to complain. Rotherham really should have won this game. They played better, but a deep cross, Rashawn Scott heading home, that lovely little half step back, and then that penalty was so close to being saved, but it was 1-1. Then it was Caprani down this left hand side, took it to the byline, pulled it all the way back, and you know who was waiting there to tap it home. Watson ran wide, found Scott, who put the cross in to you know who to do what he does best and head the ball home. And then from a corner, the new man Zabelli again. Not sure I'd call that a jump, but he managed to get 1 foot off the ground and head it home before Louis Sibley and Dan Gore combined. Double posts and in. When you make the back line go to sleep like that, you absolutely deserve the goal. But it was in the 93rd minute, there was nothing they could do, and we walked away with all 3 points. And then we faced Rovers. We'd lost at Bristol City earlier in the campaign. I was worried we were going to lose again here. And it was a 10-goal thriller. We did not play well at all for a team who scored 6 goals. We only had 6 shots on target. We were clinical. That's the only thing I can say about these boys. We were utterly clinical with our finishing. Whenever we had a chance, it was in the back of the net, and we didn't have many chances. They dominated the ball. That possession stat doesn't reflect how the game felt in the slightest. We were sloppy with it. They were better with it. We were just not disciplined, although neither side was particularly disciplined. The corners tells you everything. The ball was, for the vast majority of the game, in our half of the pitch. Our final third. And their 2xG, they doubled it. Our 1.4, what's that, times 5? I don't know. Maths isn't my strong suit, but I'll show you the goals. It's a 10-goal thriller. And it really was a 10-goal thriller. Alright, I'm remembering this game now. We just couldn't deal with it, and Sousa got down to the byline, put a deep searching cross in there, and Shade headed it home. We've conceded numerous goals like that, but sometimes they're just going to go in. Tormy took that touch inside, and I genuinely thought he'd underplayed that ball, but Adam Reach found James Berry to toe poke it into the corner. It was a beautiful bit of play from both of our wingers there combining. As Kone then flicked it on to James Berry, who with his weak foot found the bottom corner. It was phenomenal. You should have seen the scenes. Then Moore played a piercing ball over the top to Ward, who just levelled it across. And the Cypriot striker finished it off superbly. Tormy then took it down the byline. He's left-footed. He put a right-footed cross in, and it was headed home by that man again. Before Reach and Berry combine, he plays it through to Kone, who takes the player on. That goal there, I have to show it to you again. This goal here. Let's just slow this down. I want you to watch this. I want you to watch this and how special this was. Right. He says clicking at the wrong speed. I think it was like 40 and 22 seconds or something. So we'll just wait for this. Yeah, I want you to watch this goal here. Kone gets the ball. He takes it round the defender, who sticks in a monstrous tackle there, and it's first time bobbled up off the feet of the defender to find the top bins. That is an exceptional finish. But it wasn't to be the last goal in the game. Tormy couldn't quite stop the cross. I have no idea what Norris was doing there. I was fuming. I took him off. I took my goalkeeper off, because you do not fail to communicate like that and continue to play. It didn't matter. We then increased our lead back to 2. But this cross here, it fell to Mola, who took a shot, deflected off the back of Freeman and past Ravitsoli. Nothing the keeper could do. Sometimes it happens. I told you I took Norris off. I was fuming at him. Scowen found Berry in the box, who turned, played a monstrous strike into the top bins. And that won us the game 6-4. I took my goalkeeper off because you do not miscommunicate like that. Unfortunately though, the last game we were not able to beat Burton Albion. They scored 1 goal. It was a very open game. No, we just didn't quite turn up. They absolutely dominated us at home. It was awful. And there's a new man up front who just wasn't quite able to gel yet. He is new. He came in on deadline day on loan from Brighton. His name is Doofus. And believe it or not, I didn't bring him in for his name. However, they played the ball across the pitch to Aimer, headed it for Tavares, who was just allowed to curl one inside. It was a gorgeous bit of play and an excellent finish. And that was all that separated the boys. Now, we will talk about the transfers. First thing you'll see here, we managed to get this fella. He's coming in, Josh Martin, at the end of contract. Immediately what should strike you? The technique, the vision, the pace, the acceleration, the stamina, agility and balance is good. Crossing, dribbling, first touch. He is the Onyedinma Mark II. He's 22, he's 4 years younger. He's got so much more development, 4 years worth of development in him. Because I believe you stop developing fully at sort of 26 in this game. He's joining Wycombe at the end of his contract. You'll see here that is, well, when his contract expires, his contract details, well, it's already expired. But he's joining us at the end of the season. He's coming in on a free from Notts County, and I think he's going to be special for us. He'll be slotting straight in to the first team. Hopefully it'll be Championship that we're playing, and he can do bits. But it's the transfer history we want to look at. Who have we bought in? who have we got out? You can probably gather by now that we have had some movement. And we turn our attention now up here to the 5th of January. We bought in a fella, a Scottish fella, James Maxwell from Doncaster. It cost us 225k. May rise to 450 if we win the Sky Bet League 1 by the 25 season. Same clause as we got in there for Promise Omashari. I don't mind. He has already bagged himself however many assists you saw. He's been really solid. I'm really enjoying having him. I think he's 22. Doesn't quite matter. We then managed to poach Kieran Clark on a free. Kieran Clark, obviously formerly of the Premier League with Newcastle and Villa. These stats are great. He's only 6'1", but we've really got him in. I know he's old. He didn't want to come in on a 1-year contract, but I don't mind that because we brought him in for some leadership. His resolute personality, he's gone straight into my mentoring groups. He's not necessarily here to play. He's more here to guide the younger players, sort of mould their personalities. But he's great to have. He's a great resource. And I'm glad we managed to poach him. There you've got Arian Zabelli of Brentford. I managed to get him in for 75k. I negotiated that down. They wanted 125. I managed to get them to agree to 75, and he came in. I then got this fella. His name's Big Dave. Or his name's not Big Dave. His name's actually I don't remember what his name is now. David Ola something. I don't know. But I've named him Big Dave because I just can't pronounce his last name. Got him in from Boreham Wood. Cost me 150 grand, and you saw there that immediately, because he's come from Boreham Wood, his transfer value has skyrocketed. He's now worth around £1 million, which I'm not too disappointed with, actually. 22, 23 years old, 6'3", provides height. And I bought in Declan Drysdale on loan. Here you can see decent-ish stats. He's not great, but he's 6'5", and I've bought him in on loan from Tranmere for the rest of the season. And that's because we had some outgoings. We'll talk about the outgoings in a minute. Joshua Doofus has come in on loan from Brighton. His contract expires at the end of the season. He does have an optional 1-year extension, and he's wanted by almost everyone. So I bought him in because that potential ability being 5 stars. Look, if his contract expires at the end and we can get him in on a free and he does a decent job, he's more than welcome here. Not scored yet, but I think his time will come. So we had some outgoings. Before we talk about the red side on those outgoings, let's talk about our loans. Because down here you'll see Cameron Stewart was originally bought in on loan. He is back at Ipswich Town. He's been deemed surplus to requirements, which is strange by them, because they recalled him from loan. Kieran McKenna sent a couple of emails in December saying he wasn't happy about the amount of playing time Stewart was receiving, and I tried to say to him, look, we'll play him more, but he wasn't happy. He didn't leave that meeting happy. And then he sent another follow-up that he wasn't happy about the position he was playing in. And I just sort of at that point said, right, well, he's being recalled then, isn't he? And he was recalled. The same happened for Caleb Taylor. They recalled him from loan, West Brom, which is a very West Brom thing to do. I mean, they did it in January in real life this year. I think they must have had an injury, but they recalled Caleb Taylor, and sure, I could have made another loan offer, but I wasn't necessarily in that mindset because I'd been offered a couple of people. Not offered. I was sort of informed that there were a couple of people who might be available. My scouting team identified a couple of them, and I then went for it. Kieran Clark, Arian Zabelli and Big Dave all sort of came up, and I was like, right, well, that solves my two centre-back problems. And then the big one, Sonny Bradley suffered an injury that would have kept him out. It was between 2 and 3 months. Now, I checked his contract. We were paying a lot of his wages. It wasn't a small amount of money in the wage budget that was being paid to Sonny Bradley. And if he wasn't playing, well, it turned out it didn't cost us a penny to terminate his contract. So Sonny Bradley returned to Derby with an injury that would keep him out for 2 or 3 months. And I replaced those centre-backs, as you can see. Drysdale came in on loan, Big Dave on a permanent, Zabelli on a permanent, and Kieran Clark on a permanent. So I actually think we've upgraded our defence. Alex Kirk from Arsenal still remains at the club, and I don't think he's progressing too badly. His marking, tackling, passing's gone up from being a ball-playing defender. His stats actually look quite decent now. I'm in two minds as to whether or not I try and keep him. You can see that I believe his contract still expires. Let's double check that. His Arsenal contract is still up in the air. It is. And if we can get him on that sort of fee, I would consider thinking about bringing him in for development, because he has made development. But in terms of our outgoings, the big ones that you have not seen, Christy Ward is the first one. We got a loan offer from Hampton and Richmond, so he has gone to join Taylor Clark. They're paying us a decent fee. It's quite a big fee for a Vanarama South side, but they managed to agree to it, and Christy Ward is off at Hampton and Richmond. Dex Skura the next day accepted a loan offer to Weymouth of the Vanarama National Leagues. And yeah, we're getting a 3k loan fee from him. I'm fine with that. The big one, the big loss, was Sam Vokes on the first of the offer came in December, Scottish transfer window. Sam Vokes said he would become unsettled if he wasn't allowed to speak to Livingston. But it wasn't a free transfer. He went, we got some money in for him, and that's 12k potentially rising to 15 for a player who was otherwise sat on the bench. And then some big ones. Tariq Bakinson, an offer came in. It was 105,000 or something. I think it was maybe 95 from Bolton. I managed to negotiate with them. They wanted to do all sorts of bonuses and all the like. They wanted that sort of stuff, and I wanted the cash. So I sacrificed instalments for 125 grand up front for Tariq Bakinson, who maybe made 4 appearances for me this season. I cashed in on that one. It was a no-brainer. But the big one, Anders Hagelsgaard received an offer from Brentford in the Premier League. It was originally for slightly less than that. I think it was 800,000 they wanted. I'd set his transfer value at 1.5 mil. We compromised. There were some negotiations back and forth, and that is £1 million in cash we managed to get from Brentford for Anders Hagelsgaard. I think it must have been an injury. I haven't investigated, but I think it must have been an injury. And on the same day that we received the offer for Hagelsgaard, we also received an offer for Fred Onyedinma from Burnley. You can see there, 1.3 mil. There are add-ons that will take that up ever so slightly higher. I think it's league appearances and goals, maybe. I can't quite remember the details. But 1.3 million in cash we managed to negotiate. They didn't quite want to pay the 1.5. I'd listed him. I managed to get him to convince 1.75 was the asking price for Onyedinma. It's 1.3 in cash. I think the add-ons take it up to just over 1.5 mil, maybe 1.6 if he achieves them. But that's a player who, although was doing bits for us, has £1 million in the bank, and we'd spent a lot of money. The club needed an income, and we managed to do it. I was then really confused, because as Luke Leahy was playing as my reserve left back and getting slightly more game time with it, he started to get wanted things pop up, and there were a couple of clubs, I think it was Plymouth in the Championship, it said wanted, and I was like, well, there's an opportunity for money. So I raised the asking price for Luke Leahy to £500,000. I didn't get £500,000, but I did get an offer of 300k flat for him from Lincoln. I think there were add-ons as well, but I can't quite remember. And I was like, why are Lincoln City bidding 300k for Luke Leahy? And then I had a look. I don't know if he's still under... Oh, he's gone now. Yeah, he is gone. They had a player transfer. Let's have a look. It'll be out here. Freddie Draper. There it is. That was the offer that I saw. Freddie Draper was under a bid from Sunderland for 1.2 mil. They clearly thought they had money coming in. They did have money coming in, and they bought Luke Leakey in. On the same day we accepted that offer, Jack Young accepted his loan move to Oxford City. The total price, the optional fee, is tiny for them, but he's not going to play. And then towards the end, as we approached transfer deadline day, Jasper Pattenden received an offer from Forest Green Rovers for 12,000, and I let him go for that. So financially, we are now in this position. We are okay still. Got $1.5 million in the bank. That nice big boost up there. I messed with our budget. I'm not necessarily spending any of that money. And you'll see we are ever so slightly up this month. Ever so slightly. Only 3.1 mil. But we do still run a net loss on a month-to-month basis. Now, that's partially because our ticket receipts, season tickets, haven't really bought anything in. TV revenue small, merchandising small. So really, we are running a net loss. And to put some money in the bank to counteract that, obviously I spent a lot of money in the original summer window. And we were in the red. We were knocking on the door of £1 million in the red. I don't know if we ever actually crossed into that, but it was close. I sold players. We've now got some money in the bank. We should finish this season slightly better off. And the question is, can we continue? I'm glad to see Simmons back. Can we continue this run? We are duking it out now with Birmingham. We are running neck and neck. Essentially, the only way now, and this is the big thing, the only way that we can achieve a second place automatic guaranteed promotion, the league's beyond us now. It's a 46 game season. We've got 12 games to go. The league is beyond us. I'm not anticipating Lincoln and Birmingham collapsing, and I don't actually want to win the league because then I have to pay all those bonuses out. But I'm chasing that second spot. We have to match, at a very minimum, everything that Birmingham do, game for game, week in, week out. If Birmingham lose, we're allowed to lose. If Birmingham win and we get a point, well, you see, we only need 3 of those. We're neck and neck on every metric, games played and goal difference. If Birmingham lose and we win, we're trading places. That's how tight this is. It's in the balance. We are duking it neck and neck with Birmingham. We can't afford to slack off because you've got teams down here, maybe not as far down as Stockport with 30 games played. Yes, they've got 12 points they can try and pull out, but that would only take them to 65. But it's close. It's close. We have to be aware that we are only 2 points behind Stevenage, assuming they win their game in hand. That we are only 1 point behind Huddersfield, assuming they win their 2. And Leyton Orient, I think we can afford to slightly look past. But it's really tight. This league this year is so tight. Down the bottom, Crawley, I think they're probably done. I think their goose is cooked. The same for Exeter, and probably the same for Reading. They did really well to try and bounce back from their points deduction, but I don't think it's quite going to be this year. Mansfield, Shrewsbury and Barnsley are the teams that I think are going to be fighting for this last spot. Although a late collapse by Cambridge could see them dragged into it. So down the bottom it's really tight. The mid-table, well, there's not really a mid-table. You've got sort of 11th to 16th, 17th, well, 18th really. That's the mid-table. Everyone from 10th up to us in 3rd not quite out of the playoff spots yet. You saw Charlton run away with the league earlier. They've had a slight collapse to drop down to 7th, and they're on the way back up. Stockport, they hammered us early in the season. They're now down in 9th. Wrexham had a shocking moment. They're up into 10th. It's still very possible that Wrexham could sneak 6th place and go through in the playoffs. But we don't know what is going to happen until we play our games. Now, Huddersfield Town is our next game, and it is not going to be an easy one. It's going to be a tough one, but remember, we need to not necessarily worry about Huddersfield. We need to worry about Birmingham. Sorensen, Charles. The ball is over. Finn back. Gareth McCleary. Wycombe retaining possession now. Nice play. McCleary tries to take on Spencer, but just doesn't quite have the legs to do that anymore. Now Pearson. Searching ball finds Charles. The ball is across. Zabelli gets a foot in, but it's not out of danger yet, and it's Herbie Kane plays it across goal. That's poor. That's really poor. How can we respond? Watson with the corner. Movement from Zabelli. He's flicked it in. The Brentford man in the January window. Yeah, you do a little dance, big boy. 6'3", found himself in space. What a header. And now Huddersfield have a chance. Wiles is through. That was too easy. Joe Lowe caught in two minds. Ouch. As far as Watson, it's picked up by Humphreys, who knocks it, I'm thinking, out wide to McCleary. There it goes. McCleary finds Finn back, darting in towards the box. It's Gareth McCleary. What's he going to do with it? Takes the player on, gets a cross in. It's Adam Reach up there. What a headed goal to even the odds once more. Shamal George takes a big kick. It's only as far as Taylor. Finds Hodge. It's excellent play from Huddersfield. This is dangerous. Pulls it back. Simmons finds Lowry. What can Wycombe do on the break? Lowry punts it forward. Richard Kone's running on. Could this be the moment for the main man? It is. He scored in the 92nd minute. Oh, in the 92nd minute. A brilliant Wycombe Wanderers counter. Lowry looks up, plays the ball over the top because he knows Richard Kone is going to be there, and no keeper saves a shot like that. We're waiting for the full-time whistle and they've got a free kick in a dangerous spot. Oh, it's deflected. Oh my word. In the 97th minute of 90 plus 5, Shamal George claims. And it's all over. Wycombe have pulled off just a phenomenal result. Yes, they did. What resolve from the boys to turn that around. Going behind multiple times in the game only to even it up and win it so late in the day. A vital 3 points and a dogged performance from my Wycombe Wanderers team. But we really don't have too long to rest on our laurels because we've got games coming thick, we've got games coming fast, and the next one is against bottom of the league Crawley at home. So I put out my second team and we try and keep the results going. Can we, with our second team at home, get a result against Crawley Town? If we've ever got a chance. It's now. Scowen looks up to Freeman, knocks it to Big Dave. Nice little play. 1-2. Back to Freeman, just playing the ball, keeping possession, not trying to force anything. We've got the front three that can make a difference, but from this corner, what can Dan Harvey do? Ball's in. Big Dave is up. Big Dave with the header. Big Dave. And the cat celebrates with me by climbing the back of my chair. Big Dave with a cracking header. You don't know how big that is for the league. Another corner. We've finally done it. We're up into second. We've overtaken Alex Clark as well. Both centre-backs have scored. Oh, my word. Oh, my word. We have gained a substantial difference. With Birmingham 2 down, we are 2 up. And we're back up into automatic promotion. This is insane. This is immense. This is... The cat's going wild. I'm going wild. The ball's in deep. Holy mother of you-know-what. Scowen. Freeman. Sinclair. Go on, Sinclair. Take it on. What are you going to do with it, son? James Berry, it's a cutback, but it is a great save from Beach. What's he going to do? Pulls it back. There's no need for a cross. It's full time. Oh, boys, you have had a special, special game. Everyone gets praised. That was phenomenal. And it really was phenomenal. Birmingham went on to lose 3-0 to league leaders Lincoln City. And that put us ahead of them on goal difference. Unbelievable. Honestly, this league this season has just taken so many twists and turns, and we are fighting every single time we get out on that pitch like our lives depend on it. And they might very well do to save on all the bonuses we've put into contracts to get the players in that we've got. The best place for this club to finish this season is in second with automatic promotion, and we currently have the spot. The question is, can we defend it when we welcome Barnsley to the park? Joshua Doofus leads the line. He's not done anything for me, and I'm not keen on necessarily keeping him. I know they say I'll be one for the future, but I'm not entirely sure. We've got Jaden Bartolo as well, who I think will do a better job. Crunching tackle there from James Berry. Fair enough. I'm not expecting an easy game. Simmons looks inside to Humphreys. Plays a diagonal ball to Caprani. That's a great little run. Kelly Caprani! The Irishman, who we bought in on a free, has developed into a cracking little player for this level. And this is his just desserts. Lovely little movement off the shoulder, on his stronger left foot, to place it in the back of the net for his first goal for Wycombe. He's bagged a few assists. And now he's got his goal. I can't believe it. I'm so happy for him. I'm actually so happy for him. I've really, really enjoyed playing with him today. When he tore me apart today in this save, when he tore me apart in that Hampton and Richmond save, when he signed for Maidstone, he just playing. He scored something like 6 goals in 2 games. He was so much better than that division. I'm so glad I took a punt on him. He's developed he's so well. Simmons to Freeman. Freeman finds Scott. Lovely little drop of the shoulder there. Ball's across. It's Doofus. Joshua Doofus has scored his first goal on loan. Big up, Big Josh. Everyone gets some match fitness. McCleary now. Deep cross. Caprani. It's still with Dan Harvey. What's he going to do? Dan Harvey has finally got himself a goal. Cameron Borthwick-Jackson with the throw. It's back to Connell. Finds... Oh no, Max Waters has scored. The clean sheet is gone. But with 7 minutes to go, I need to shout encouragement. Don't let your heads drop. Do not let your heads drop, boys. It's 1 goal. It's only 1 goal. Watson Simmons. Out to Grimmer. Good little ball out to Grimmer. McCleary now picks the ball up, pulls it back to Caprani. He's smashed that home. 2 goals this season, 2 goals this game. That is excellent from the young Irishman. Oh my word, look at this. He has waited all season for his chance, and he's finally got it. McCleary pulls it back, he's in space, side foot with power, centre of the net. You don't stop a shot of that power. But no more, surely. That ball is out of play. It's the perfect opportunity. Looks like we are going to play this throw-in. No, we are not. No, we didn't play more, but we did get 3 points. We matched Birmingham, which is exactly what we needed to do. And we were able to increase our goal difference tally by just a fractional margin. You will have to forgive me racing through these fixtures because I am very aware of the fact that we are almost an hour in already. And I don't want to take up too much of your time. That said, I don't want you to miss out on the action. And there is going to be a lot of it, I'm sure. Because the very next time we play, we're on the road against... I'll be honest, I hate playing Mansfield. Their league position is not doing them justice. There is never an easy day playing at Mansfield, at least in Football Manager 24. So why wouldn't it be my next fixture? This is going to be big. So let's get it done. Mansfield versus Wycombe. Birmingham, who are they playing? Shrewsbury, they should... Oh, it's a big game. It's a big game. Not just for us. If Birmingham win, we lose. Not only do we swap places, second and third, but relegation places swap as well. James Berry with a dangerous ball. Is off the post. Finback hits in to take the lead. Oh, that happened so quickly, and it came from a free kick in a dangerous position. Berry hits the post. Finback gets up to bag, what's that, his third goal of the season? And Shrewsbury have equalised. That goal means more. That goal means so much more now than I think anyone actually realises. Scowen also with his name in the book now, but time is ticking down. Forget the Birmingham result. We need to weather one last storm. The ball's in deep. It's claimed by Shamal George. And punted long. There's 8 seconds left. There it is. The result is positive in Wycombe's favour. Oh man, that was tense. Yes, it was tense, but 1-0 is 1-0 and 3 points are 3 points. I am never going to shake a stick at that. So thank goodness these boys clawed their way through that one. I am not exactly brimming with that same confidence though when I realise our next game is also on the road. This time it's against Bolton Wanderers. This is also not going to be fun. It's not going to be easy, but the 4-4-1-1 has worked since we've changed into it. We've been consistent. Sheehan to take, sorry. It's, oh, Aaron Collins has smashed one home. Encourage everybody. This is not the result we would like, but with things not going Birmingham's way, there's still time. Look at that. You don't save those. Might be time for some changes. Lowry. Caprani picks the ball up. What's he going to do? He's playing a cross in. Kone has scored. Number 33. Big header from the big man. And we are back in this game. Brilliant cross from Kelly Caprani on that far side. 1 touch, 2 touch, deep cross, good movement from Kone, and a brilliant directed header. That you think has to be full time. It is. It's a draw away on the road. But I think Birmingham lost. And if they did, we now have a point. They did. Birmingham lost 2-1. It's not quite what we would like, but it is advantage us. And make no mistake about it, it might not be the 3 points we wanted out of that game, but that point and Birmingham dropping all 3 has put us 1 point ahead of them. We are secure for now. And oh my goodness, I can't wait for the upcoming fixtures now. We just need to hold serve to the end of the season. We've got 10 more games, I believe. Something like that. Oh, it's close. But there's one thing we can't do, and that's get complacent. We cannot afford to get complacent. We are welcoming Cambridge United to Adams Park, and there are no easy games in League One, but this one as well, there's something about it that makes me feel like we could trip up at any point. So we definitely do need to be cautious. And that was my tactical choice as we approach kickoff. To try and get something important. Media usually is the best one. It's not what I would want to say, but we need the reaction from players. It got a decent one. Let's go. Immediate shouts of encouragement for the entire team. We found ourselves with... Well, that's not quite what I was hoping for as a start, but you know what? Doesn't quite matter. Kachunga is in there. We need to defend better than that. We can't be giving him space there. Oh, you're taking the fucking piss. I've got nothing to say. Why have we given him so much pissing space there? Westergaard. Looks a searching ball, but no one's there that can do anything. Dan Udo can intercept here. He's levered it into the corner. He's back from injury, and that is a way to perk yourself up. What has gone on here? Nathan Bishop has just gone to sleep, and Udo was lurking. He should be smashing them home from there. What a confidence booster for the man back from injury. What can we do here? Bishop. Big kick. Headed down to McCleary. Possession is with Wycombe. McCleary driving into that right wing. Stops it on the line. Pulls it back to Scowen. What can he do? He finds... Oh, what a goal from Louis Watson. Scowen found him on the edge of the area. He had tons of time and he's put the ball in the net. All started from Gareth McCleary. Little stop. Scowen takes his time, pings the ball. Was it deflected? I don't know, but the keeper must have seen it late through all of those players. Shout praise on everyone. What a way to start the second half. This could be the chance to bury the game. It's Alex Lowry with a corner. He puts it in. But it's back out to Lowry. What can he do? He runs. He plays reach. He finds Kirk. We're just keeping the ball now. That's nice. Don't force anything. Grimmer drives into space. Finds McCleary all alone. He has a crack. He's doubled the lead. You have to say... Wycombe will be taking home all 3 points and will be 4 points clear of Birmingham in second place. What a brilliant bit of team play. They didn't force anything. They just coolly put the ball in the net. Can Burton do anything to upset things, or is a 1-1 draw going to be played out? Forget them. What a turnaround from Wycombe. Different gravy. Different gravy. And there you have it, a 4-point gap. Birmingham must have lost during the week. I must have missed it, I didn't see it. But oh my word, 4 points the gap. A game and a bit in hand, locked into that second place position. Automatic promotion. And that's 40 games played. I believe there's only 6 more league games to go. So join me next week for episode 8. The final 6 matches of this League One season. Can we hold on to automatic promotion? Will we falter and drop back into the playoffs? One thing I know for certain is that I have absolutely achieved my season objective of trying to get into the playoffs. Question is, are we going up? And if we are we doing it in emphatic style, nicking that second place that we currently have locked down? The only way to find out is to join me this time next week as we take on those last 6 games. This is where I'm going to end it all for this episode. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of your time. I know it's been a long one, but seriously, thank you all so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing all of you and hopefully some more in the next one.